everybody, it's Jasmine. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be partnering with Viator to share with you how to actually enjoy your New York City trip without getting overwhelmed. Former travel producer here for over 4 years, turned food producer. Now I do both. I have planned trips for individuals, families, small groups, and large groups. And I even planned a trip for my followers to join me all the way in Japan, and it was a blast. So trust me when I say I got your travels covered. Let's talk New York City. I have been to New York City a bunch of different times. I even interned there during my college years, and every trip teaches me something new. Over the years, I have found a few things that really made my experience better, one of which turned out to be one of my favorite things I've ever done in the city, and today I am sharing that experience with you guys, plus some travel tips that will make your New York City trip smoother, more fun, and a little less overwhelming. This tip gets its own part because this is what we used to argue about during brainstorms when I was a travel producer. Don't be afraid to be a tourist or a local. People love to say, don't do that, that's so touristy. But there is a reason that makes these activities and experiences so popular. Whether it's seeing the skyline from the top of a building, walking through Central Park, or catching a Broadway show, these are iconic for a reason and they are worth doing. They're worth doing, I promise. Here's my thing, if the activity doesn't seem like it's up your alley, then you don't have to do it. However, if it does seem like it is up your alley and it intrigues you, I say do it. Even if it's just one and done and you don't need to do it again, that's fine. But I really hate when people say, ugh, that's so touristy. You're a tourist. You're allowed to do touristy things. So if you want to go do the things that you've always seen being done in New York City, go do them. I encourage you. It is the Big Apple. Go live your Big Apple dreams. Now, at the same time, seeing New York City through a local's perspective is just as charming and just as amazing, just a different perspective. Wandering quiet side streets, checking out neighborhood gems, or grabbing a bagel from a tiny deli with no sign, those are the moments that really give you a feel for the city. But perhaps the sweet spot is doing both. One of the best ways I have found to strike a balance between touristy and local is booking a food tour led by a local. George and I did one in Greenwich Village and it was so fun. It honestly felt like we were being shown around by a friend. We hit up historic spots, we got behind the scenes stories. He even told us about some local neighborhood gossip, which was really funny. I mean, personally, I don't like drama, but I like hearing about it as long as I'm not involved in it. As someone who is really intense and type A about my travels, I do so much research, and while I do enjoy it, sometimes it can be overwhelming. So it's nice that when you book a local guided food tour, a lot of that research is cut out for you. Viator made it super easy to book, and I love that I could read real reviews and I could cancel up to 24 hours before in case plans changed. Thinking back on it now, it's still one of my favorite New York City experiences, and we got to eat so much. That food tour is still one of the best things I've ever done in New York City. I can't wait to go back and do more. We love food tours. If you checked out our other videos, you can see that we've done so many Viator food tours. Every single time it's worth it. It's so fun. George and I love Viator. We have been using Viator before we even started partnering with them, okay? So legit, we love Viator. We love the experiences. We wouldn't share these experiences with you if we did not enjoy them ourselves. Actually, this tour that we went on, the one I'm talking to you about now, won an award for being a top 2024 Viator experience. Super worth it. Check it out. Let's get into part 2 now. These are the tips that I actually use for my New York City trip. Actually, these can be applicable for any destination you choose, but these are the most common tips that I share for anyone about to head to New York City. Tip number 1, book your experiences before you land. New York City moves very quickly. If there's a show, a tour, a museum you want to check out, book it in advance. The good ones fill up very quickly, and also this helps you from decision fatigue in the future. We all know how people in the group get when they're all tired from traveling and no one can make a decision. Just save yourself the hassle, book it in advance. If you're booking that Viator experience, you can cancel up to 24 hours before your experience. I have used this feature several times because when you're traveling, plans change all the time. Tip number 2, do not overplan your day. Don't do it. I get it. I love planning. I love stuffing things into my itinerary so I can see everything, anything to make that trip 100% worth it. But trust me, once you overplan your day, there is too much. You end up being late. Everyone gets tired. People are cranky. It is not what you're going to be expecting. I also think back to my previous New York City trips where I definitely overplanned. I booked like 10 things in a single day. By the time we ended the trip, we forgot like half of the things that we did because there was simply too much, and it is not easy to process all those different new things in a single trip. Also, you want to leave some space for spontaneity. Some of the best experiences that I've stumbled upon during my travels was when I had nothing planned. I was simply exploring the city, wandering, and getting that satisfaction of wanderlust. So take it easy, breathe. The last thing you want is to come home from your New York City trip and be like, what did I even do? You know, you don't want that. Tip number 3, wear real shoes. I know it sounds basic, but bring good walking shoes, okay? Bring good walking shoes. If you know you're going to something fancy, sure, bring a heel, put it in your bag, but bring good walking shoes. Don't say that I didn't warn you. Don't say that anyone didn't warn you. Between the subway, the brick street, and the long blocks, your feet will thank you. Also, please consider your hygiene for your feet. If you know that your feet end up getting stinky, bring shoe deodorizer, because if you don't and you stink up your hotel room, everyone in your group will be mad at you. Tip number 4, do not skip on the outer boroughs. I understand if you aren't able to hit this on your first or second trip to New York City, but all I'm saying is don't ignore them. There's so many gems on the outer boroughs. Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, they all have incredible food. They all have their own culture. On our last trip, we finally checked out Flushing and Queens, and it was such a blast. The food was amazing. There's also food tours that you can find on Viator in these outer boroughs, so I'd recommend checking those out. Tip number 5, group things by neighborhood. New York City is bigger than you might think, so I would try to avoid zigzagging through Manhattan. Plan your spots by area so you can actually soak it in without rushing. What I personally like to do is find all the activities that I want to do, and then I put them into Google Maps. I see where I have the most collections, and I try to plan my day by neighborhood. That way you can think of your trip as chapters. Last tip, tip number 6, build in a reset activity. You are gonna thank me for this one. Your group is gonna thank you for this one. New York City can be really intense. There's a lot of energy, and if you're anything like me, you absorb the energy of the people you're around. And New York City is incredibly densely populated, so you might be soaking in so much energy, and that will drain you, especially if you're under the sun. So trust me when I tell you to schedule in something a little more relaxing. That local guided Greenwich Village food tour that I mentioned earlier, that was our reset activity. We found it to be a reset activity because it was local led. We didn't need to do any of the research. All we did was show up and get taken around to eat and listen to stories and local gossip, and it was so fun. It was the perfect break from my usual pace, especially in New York City. I move around New York City quite quickly. There's just a lot to see, okay? Out of everything I've done in New York City, that Greenwich Village food tour still stands out. I'll link the one we did below if you want to check it out. Seriously, it's such a fun way to explore the city like a local, and truly some great bites along the way. I've already bookmarked so many spots from that food tour that I'm gonna go back to once I'm back in New York. If you're traveling soon or know anyone else traveling, you can use my promo code Jasmine15 to book your next Viator experience. There's over 300,000 travel experiences to choose from, millions of real reviews, plus free cancellation up to 24 hours before your experience. Alrighty guys, I hope these tips helped. I hope you have the best New York City trip. Do not feel overwhelmed. I feel like if you keep these tips in the back of your mind, you will have a smooth trip and you can just focus on having fun. And if you've been to New York City before, leave in the comments what your favorite experience was, or ask me anything if you're still in the planning stage. All right guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much, bye.